Hello, in this video, we are going to learn how to use price match function in Power BI. This function will allow us to calculate the price of a security per $100 face value that pays interest at the maturity of the security. We already learned how to use price function in our previous video, and if you haven't watched it, please check out my previous video. And before we implement this function in Power BI, let's try to understand what this function means with some definition and also with the help of simple example in Excel. Here we have the definition and the syntax. Returns the price per $100 face value of a security that pays interest at maturity. And we have the syntax here. It takes 6 parameter or arguments. The settlement, that's the date at which the security was traded to the buyer, and maturity date is the expiry date of the security, and issue is the issue date of the security. We have the rate of interest, and yield is the security's annual yield, and basis, the last one being optional. And again, it takes 5 inputs ranging from 0 to 4, which will determine the day count that needs to be considered. And return value, that's the price per $100 face value. And if I scroll down a bit here, we have some remarks and also the formula to calculate price match function manually, and an example as well. So let's go to Excel and then try to implement this example first, and then later try to do the same thing in Power BI. Here I have all the information. So I have the settlement date, maturity date, issue date, coupon rate, and yield. And I also have this formula here to calculate the price match function manually. So let's fill up these things. So we have the formula, and also we have the description. So B stands for number of days in a year depending on year basis. So let's use 360, okay, 360 actual. And DSM stands for number of days from settlement to maturity. So the maturity date is this one, and settlement date, we have it here. So 58 days, right? And DIM stands for number of days from issue to maturity. Okay, so maturity date minus issue date. So I get this number 154. And A stands for number of days from issue to settlement. So we have the settlement date here minus the issue date. Okay. Make sure the dates are in the date format. If it's a string, you'll get an error. And now let's try to do this manually. First, let's calculate the numerator part equal to, so 100 plus. So I'm going to type in 100 plus, open the brackets here. DIM, we have it here, 154 divided by B. So 360 times multiplied by rate. We have the rate here, and then multiplied by 100. Okay, so hit enter. We have the numerator, and let's do the same thing for the denominator. 1 plus, open the parenthesis, DSM divided by B multiplied by the yield. So we have the denominator. And now let's calculate the result. Numerator divided by the denominator here. Then minus, open the parenthesis, A divided by B times the rate of interest, that's here coupon rate, into 100. So we should have the results, $99.98. So this is how we can calculate this manually. Now let's try to do the same thing using the Excel built-in function, equal to price match, the settlement date, and we have the maturity date. And what's next? That's the issue date here, rate, coupon rate, and yield. So yield, the basis, which is optional, but we will select the second one, actual 360. And convert this into decimal currency to decimal places. And we have it here. So this is how we can use the price match function We can calculate this manually and also using the Excel built-in function. So now let's try to do the same thing in Power BI. So here I have the data, the settlement date, maturity date, issue date, coupon rate, and yield. So let me go to the report here. I have a card. And now let me try to create a new measure here. Call this as price mat equal to price mat selected value and the settlement date, and then selected value and the maturity date, selected value, and next parameter is the issue date, and then we have the yield, the rate, and then we're going to calculate the yield, input the yield, and the basis is the second one. That's what we use in Excel as well. So now if I change this to dollars and then two decimal places, and then let me bring this to the card here, 99.98. This is exactly what we got in Excel. So this is how we calculate or use the price mat function both in Excel and in Power BI. I hope this video was helpful, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and also please share with your friends or colleagues. They might benefit from this tutorial. Okay, and thanks for watching. Have a great day.